Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing the technique gathering clouds, its execution, some of the things you should know about its execution, and some things that you can do to fix some things that could go wrong during its execution. So let's talk about the ideal phase. The ideal phase is a right thrusting straight punch, stepping forward with the right foot. This is very similar to what we're doing in leaping crane. We're doing something very similar to leaping crane, but in leaping crane we are going to be diverting ourselves off. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be staying on the line and diverting them off the line of attack. So as we do that, just like leaping crane, we're going to have this middle knuckle either done this way or done this way. Both of them are middle knuckles. One's a single, one's four. And depending upon where you're going to go depends upon the difference between you and your opponent's heights. So if it's farther away, I could hit under the elbow here. If I'm closer and divert this faster, I can do a single across. You can choose whichever one, it doesn't really matter. The ideal phase though is to do the single to the ribs, just so you know. Okay, so the major difference, like I said, is we're staying on the line of attack, we're dropping back to that cat and moving this just far enough to where we need to be. Then we do that middle knuckle rake as we come across, and we should do that all at the same time. So as we step back, we're doing that hit. This can use the elastic recoil if you wish on it so that you can bounce off your body to get that hit, because that's going to be the next hit. So how is this hit going to be working? We're going to be doing a chop. You could theoretically do the chop to the front like this, but a better way to do it is something that's very similar to what we do in Five Swords. So in Five Swords, what we do is we bend that wrist and we get around the neck like that. We can do the same thing but to the body. So we can hit and wrap around and get all that around the entire body rather than just the front of the ribs. Either one of them is fine. You can choose whichever you want. The ideal phase, again, is to do that standard chop, but the better way to do it and to get more contact surface and more penetration is to wrap around. So just keep that in mind. Now the thing that you need to worry about this is you're going to give up all your rotation as you do this drop and then trying to do this elbow. You really can't do that. So the better way to do that is to come straight in as you're doing this hit and keep almost to a forward bow and then do the elbow. So now the next thing that you see that people will do, or that can go wrong in this, is that once you get this hit, you bounce off again and then try and do this elbow. Shouldn't be done that way. It should be done like a ratchet. So you hit and just dead hand into that opponent, and then you're going to use your rotation in order to do the drop in the elbow. So to show you that, let's switch direction. So we get up to the first part, second part, and now if you notice, what I want to do is get into either the sternum or the solar plexus, depending on what I want to do, and now we're going to actually settle into the stance. So up to this point, we're using depth with no rotation. And then at the end, we do the depth, the settle, and the rotation to send the person back off at that 45 that way. So we really want to get that person moving with that rotation, but then we have a follow-up strike. Once we get to this point, we get that moving backwards, and then to stop that backward momentum, we have the scoop kick. Theoretically speaking, you should be able to stop the backward momentum. If not, you just do the step out and cross out and cover if you wish, but that's assumed for the sake of this technique and what we're doing now in the ideal phase, that we are actually stopping that forward momentum. So why are we stopping that forward momentum? Because what we want to do is grab and pull and then hit them with that chop as they stopped. So notice that they're starting to bend a little bit forward. We're going to take advantage of their forward momentum and stop them and hit them as they chop. So what can go wrong here is I do this scoop and I do the hit while I'm in the air before I get the plant. What you want to do is do the scoop, and as that foot begins to hit the ground, boom, then you get the hit, and then you cross out. Okay? So let's walk through it one more time with the explanation. We are staying on the line, diverting them off the line. You can either hit with the one middle knuckle or the four middle knuckles, either to the ribs or under the elbow. Then we're going to go straight forward. You can use elastic recoil if you wish to. You're going to go straight forward as we hit. Don't completely settle. Bend the wrist to wrap around, and then settle into the elbow. Also, if you want to stop their forward momentum, you can grab them here, do the scoop kick, and then the chop to the throat as we land the foot at the same time. Cross out and cover. Let's do it from the other angle so that you can see it. Slightly faster without any explanation. And up. Hope this video helps you. Thank you very much.